Welcome to episode 2 of TENERGY, where today we'll be focusing on the impact of pollution, specifically the impact of inconsiderate energy use on ecosystems throughout the world, whether it be land or marine environments. As always, this series can be viewed on our YouTube channel, Light the Way, and our Instagram TV at ltw.ph. For those that are new here, we're a non-profit organization looking to spread awareness about the pressing issue of unsustainable energy. We also work toward implementing renewable energy systems into impoverished Filipino communities.
The primary way in which ecosystems are being impacted is through the pollution of their environments. Fossil fuel power plants, such as coal plants and petroleum plants, burn matter in order to access the chemical energy present within these substances, converting this into electricity that is sent to the grid. In the process, various chemicals are released into the atmosphere, such as carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide. These harmful gases are affecting marine life through a process known as ocean acidification. Carbon dioxide, as well as other gases, are constantly being dissolved in bodies of water, a natural occurrence that has previously had no repercussions on marine life. However, since carbon dioxide emissions have increased with the sharp rise in fossil fuel power plants these past decades, the ocean has become more and more acidic. The pH scale is a measurement on a scale of 1 to 14 of the acidity or alkalinity of a particular solution, influenced by the concentration of hydrogen and hydroxide ions. The pH level of the ocean has historically been slightly on the alkaline side, a pH level serving as a point of equilibrium after millions of years of environmental changes ideal for marine life. The ocean's pH level has moved from an average of 8.25 in 1751 to 8.1 today, as these gases are continually being dissolved in salt water. While this jump may not seem significant, it very much is. This very change is influencing many marine species' ability to survive, setting off risks of collapse for their respective ecosystems. Since we depend on many organisms in the ocean for food and other services, it has begun to influence our lives as well.
So, observing a case study looking at the Pacific Ocean in the US, we can see the true impact of ocean acidification. Many businesses in the Pacific Ocean harvest and sell shellfish sustainably throughout the country, bringing in around $600 million annually. And this creates thousands of jobs in rural communities every year. Coastal communities are heavily reliant on these industries to support their local economy. However, the industry took a massive hit in 2005 because the oysters were failing to reproduce. By 2008, the largest oyster hatchery in the US West Coast had taken an 80% hit in production. 2 years later, it was confirmed that the corrosive property of the seawater was the factor behind the decline in production. The issue had actually escalated so much that in order to sustain business, many companies would actually require equipment to detect the amount of ocean acidification in order to continue business. Essentially, because of ocean acidification, an industry that provided jobs for thousands living in rural communities had suffered massive losses. Holistically observing this process, we can begin to see that in both the present and future, the mass amount of emissions of carbon dioxide, as well as other greenhouse gases from power plants, will only impact us in the long run. So in this slide, we can truly compare the differences of before and after ocean acidification. In the top left, we can see that the coral looks very white, almost bleached, and this is indicative of how it's slowly dying. Whereas on the bottom right, we can see that the coral is very colorful and lively, and this shows that it's healthy. And so we can see the true impact that greenhouse gas emissions, specifically carbon dioxide, will have on certain parts of coral reefs.
As for land animals, rising gas emissions are the cause of increasing amounts of respiratory issues for animals and humans alike. It has also been proven that the introduction of high pollution levels impacts endocrine, organ system, and immune system function. Plant species have also seen negative effects. The metabolic function of a plant is characterized by an organism's ability to photosynthesize, and is vital for its survival and reproduction. This is hindered by various gases such as nitrogen oxide and ozone, which are frequently released by fossil fuel power plants. With regard to land animals, the aforementioned ocean acidification can be detrimental indirectly by tampering with these animals' food sources.
A real-world example of this is a study from 1986, which investigated the effects of a coal-fired power plant on its surroundings in eastern Pennsylvania. The factory had been known to emit selenium emissions and discharge beryllium waste, and this had been leaking into the Chilliscauqui Creek, which flows into the larger Susquehanna River. The study had confirmed that the levels of water in the river, which is actually used in the area's water supply, contained traces of carcinogenic particles. This essentially means that the coal power plant had been connected to an increase of cancer cases in the area of Chillisquawkee.
To summarize, pollutants from fossil fuel plants have had notable impacts on ecosystems on land and in the ocean. If we want to see our ecosystems maintain their stability and biodiversity, the switch to renewable energy is necessary. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next episode.
If you would like, please follow, like the video, or comment. Thank you.